Now, from the Low Country's news leader, this is Live 5 News.
A unanimous verdict handed down, a sentence in the crash that killed a Charleston County mother and her two daughters. The former deputy, Emily Pelletier, found guilty of 3 counts of reckless homicide. And we want to go now to a news conference that is happening right now outside of the courthouse. We'll take you there now.
And Miranda Dantzler-Williams. I didn't like the justice today, just as the way Charleston County police always operate. They always in the right. Whether they're wrong or not, they always in the right. And that should be well known. I didn't like the justice system today, I didn't. I sure didn't.
Miranda Williams, father of Shanice and Miranda Dantzler. Well, today, I think this is a waste of time. There was no justice served behind this. 3 whole years. We got nothing of it. 3 years, that's not enough time. Something else could have been done about this.
Today was 17 days short of the day that this happened 3 years ago. And this family has endured total disrespect from this system since day one. The lack of communication that was given to this family for 3 years from the solicitor's office. The fact that the person who killed their 3 loved ones walked the streets, enjoyed her life, her family, for the last 3 years. Although they made it a big point today in court to talk about how they really wanted to spend more time with their loved ones, while these have no opportunity whatsoever to spend time with their loved ones on this earth again. Starting from the $25,000 per body bond that was set in June of 2022. Disrespect for this family. The fact that Emily Pelletier, as part of her bond condition, she had to contact the family if she wanted to travel, and she repeatedly contacted this family because she wanted to go places and do things, while this family could not do anything with their family members anymore but visit them at their gravesite. The disrespect that continued into this trial, as you have attorneys painting their loved ones in court in front of their face as being the cause of their own death. And you want to tell me, and people ask, why do we say Black Lives Matter? Because in a system that's set up like this, it's obvious that they don't. Who would have come back from getting a guilty verdict? The jury did what was right. But who would think that the guy that's in charge of the courtroom with the robe on, who is the voice of justice, would come back and say that these 3 lives, the 3 lives of these women who died on Mother's Day 3 years ago, with the Mother's Day coming up again soon, one of the women would have celebrated her 56th birthday, Stephanie Dantzler, on the 17th, a few days ago. Who would have thought that the guy with the robe, whose job is to bring justice, after hearing justice spoken from a jury verdict, would have stood up and said, oh, I'm just going to sentence her to 3 years for all 3 of their lives? What kind of justice system is this? It's crazy. This family's angry. I know. I'm angry. We have a community out here right now that's going to be angry, who hasn't probably heard that much yet. So unless there are other questions, I just want to say right now there's another part to this whole thing that needs to be considered. And it's the fact that now it's a part that the county has got to play in at least somebody trying to do the right thing for this family, a part that has not been played yet. The county knows what that is. And now it's time for at least somebody in this whole thing to do right by this family, who will never be right because of what was done by a Charleston County deputy sheriff 3 years ago on Mother's Day. Anybody else? Any questions?
Do you know what kind of sentence the prosecution was seeking and why it ended up being so low?
They didn't seek none.
You've been listening to a news conference there at the Emily Pelletier trial. That former Charleston County deputy was on trial for, as she was responding to a call Mother's Day 3 years ago, she responded, ran through a stop sign at New Road and Highway 17 and collided with that car with those 3 victims in there. We have heard today that she was found guilty of that crime and will serve out 3 years in prison, and the family not very happy with that sentencing verdict. We want to go back downtown to Justin Kollar, who was in the courtroom today and has witnessed these emotions from the family. Justin, that news conference just wrapped up. The family not very happy with that verdict at all.
No, not at all, Ralph. And it's important to remember in a situation like this that there are no winners when you're dealing with heartbreak and tragedy like this. The family that you just heard from completely dissatisfied with the results of this sentencing. Though there was a guilty verdict, the sentencing itself left them with a bad taste in their mouth, to say the least. We'll get to that more in just a second here, but it only took a few hours for the jury to reach their decision, guilty on all counts. And it didn't take long for the emotion to follow. As Emily Pelletier was cuffed, her mother collapsed and had to be wheeled out of the courtroom in a chair by the bailiffs. The sentencing was delayed because the mother insisted on being there. Family members of Stephanie, Shanice, and Miranda Dantzler-Williams filled the courtroom today, sharing memories and grief. Miranda had graduated with a degree in criminal justice just 1 day before her death. Her grandmother today calling it a Mother's Day to remember for all the wrong reasons after writing a book in the wake of this tragedy. Pelletier's father, sister, and partner all spoke, each asking the judge for mercy. Now, we did also hear from Emily Pelletier herself, who expressed deep remorse, saying, quote, "I wish I could trade places. I wish it had only been me." She talked about seeking therapy in the wake of this tragedy, not being suicidal, but feeling the weight of her role in the crash. And that crash itself, Ralph, as you mentioned, happened on Mother's Day, May of 2022, when Pelletier, responding to a disabled vehicle call, ran a stop sign at 73 miles an hour, hitting the Dantzler's car on Highway 17 in New Road. Now, despite attempts by the defense to shift attention away earlier today to the victim's blood alcohol levels, the prosecution said that evidence was unreliable and called it, quote, victim blaming. Now, we do want to get to the sentence itself. We have 5 years on each count. There were 3 of them, with 3 years to serve, 2 years probation, with all 3 of them running concurrently. So essentially, that's 3 years served in jail. And this family down now 3 members after that tragedy. We do want you to stay with us throughout the afternoon. We will have full team coverage for you live downtown as Melissa Rademacher and I go through all the details of this trial and the sentencing today. For now, though, we are reporting live downtown Charleston. I'm Justin Kollar, Live 5 News.